I got lit up in 1993 after going to the Center for Creative Leadership, which is known as the Harvard of Leadership Institutes. I went there when I was a punk 34-year-old. I remember the 4-star general, a division of GM, had a guy that ran the Tennessee Valley Authority, and I forget the others, but there were like 20 people, and I was the young punk. And I learned more about myself in a week than I had cumulatively learned in 34 years. And I was like, I want to do what these people do. That was the minute where I just was like, someday I'm going to start my own company. It's going to be called Built to Lead. We're going to go out and build leaders, because this really got me lit up. So I walked in there, went back, told our CEO I was the guinea pig for the company to go. And I said, send everybody. So that was the best week of my life. He said, no, it's too expensive. I said, okay, then let me start our own leadership institute. Let me figure this out. Let me start to study and build our own program here for CompuServe. So he said, yeah, you can do that. That's when I began to figure out what are the essentials of leadership. I started reading everything and I didn't like anything. I'm like, I read everything I could, I still am. And I'm like, that's shit. That's freaking bullshit. This is ridiculous. And I kept thinking, go back to the Bible, go back to ancient teachings. That's the real stuff. That's leadership 101. It's not anything new. And all these people putting new spin on it, I just kept going back to ancient texts, ancient wisdom, Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, Confucius, Jesus. Most of them didn't write anything, we wrote about them. So I started reading all of that, again, with the idea of thinking about leadership. And so I wrote, how do we become personally excellent? And I wrote what I think are the 12 essentials. The first one is really the only essential of the 12. You got to start with building that core, that hub. And then you start to build the spokes off of them. So that's sort of the way the whole concept came and the visual came was, what's the key to becoming exceptional as an individual? Well, it's figuring out, like, who are you? What are your unique abilities? Why are you here? What are your principles? Do you have them? Do you know what you love? Because I believe in a God that designed us all in love, for love. So I believe you got to figure out your love twos, your passion. And then those lead you to your big whys, your purposes, like, why are you here? Where do you want to go? And then the last piece of that's the process of marrying your own playbook of productive action to get there. All the 12 essentials of personal excellence really start and stop with that. Once you build the core, the next essential is really paramount. The thing that we do is we help all of our clients build personal excellence. Once they start to get really strong in their core, they figure out who they are, why they're here, where they're going. They get a clear opus, an aim for their work and their life. The stronger you get, the more likely you are to start to believe you're bullshit and think you're God and think you don't need anybody else and you can do it on your own. That's when you're going to really fall. And so when we study history with greatness, the world over, the biggest enemy of their greatness was themselves. They torpedoed themselves. History just shows us this over and over, and whole peoples destroy themselves because they start to think they're better than everybody else. I mean, this is the truth for individuals, for companies, for communities, for countries. So that's second essential, building humility. You cannot skip over building humility. And most people do. Like, we need to really humble ourselves. We need to realize this is not about us. There is a bigger story here. I mean, I believe all 12 essentials are essential. They absolutely are in rank order in my mind. And that second one is the most misunderstood one. Most people think of humility as weakness. Humility is real strength. Without it, none of this current strength will last.